guys. Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the StormCast. For those who don't know, this is the podcast where I, myself, Folu Storms, just kind of share my general thoughts, my musings with you, and I appreciate that you all join me. And this season on the StormCast is a bit different because sometimes I have guests, and my guests, I think, are brilliant, fantastic people that I'm very interested in personally and professionally. And today's guest is no exception. Please welcome the very gorgeous, the very lovely, the incredibly talented Enado Odunsi. How you doing, boo?
Oh, this for me?
It's for you. I've not even finished gassing you up
Oh
yet.
my god, I'm flustered.
I have not finished gassing you up.
I'm blushing.
I think that Enado embodies the modern Nigerian actress who is strategic, she is resilient, she's deeply committed to her craft, and she's just such a warm, loving human being personally. I also feel that her work in popular series from The Men's Club to Flawsome, alongside her partnership with her partner, Tola Odunsi, big shout out to Tola. It's one of the reasons why I want to have you here, because I feel like you've navigated so much of life gracefully and you continue to navigate so much of life gracefully. I feel that personally we have such great conversations.
Yes, we do.
And I think that professionally we've worked so well together, from
Yes, we
Unmarried to The Men's Club. So I was like, yeah, Nado,
And
come.
as friends.
And as friends. So I was like, come, let's have a chat. So first things first, some of you may or may not know that Enado started off in the corporate world.
Yes, I did.
Yes. So you started your career maintaining a corporate job, even while you had early acting roles
Yes.
on projects like in Tinsel.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you realize that the currency of your craft is what you wanted to follow, that acting was worth this huge risk of leaving the corporate structure?
Sometimes when men are, it's often guys most of the time, but women too, when they're telling stories about how they met their partner, and they say, I saw her, or we had the first date, or we had that conversation and I knew she was the one, right? It was the same with acting. So, but it wasn't the first time. I think, so I had done one or two things and I'm like, I still like my corporate money better, and all of that. However, after my first major role as a lead character, because before then I had said I probably want to try this thing now, because the time will come I probably would not have the opportunity to try it. So let me give it a shot. Let me take it a little more seriously and see how it feels. And after that first film, I knew that I was hooked. I knew that I was hooked. There is no other thing that I've done that makes me feel the way that I feel on set. And I tell you, there are stressful moments on set. It's stressful being an actor. It is very stressful being an actor with the conditions that we work under. But still, I will get up every morning and I will do it all over again in a heartbeat. That's how much I love it. And as I realized that, it just made me feel good. I can't explain why it makes me feel good, but it just does. I just love it the way that I do. And so, you know what? This is where my heart is for now.
I love that. So Enado and I met on the set of Unmarried. Didn't know this woman from anywhere before. I didn't even know that you were going to be playing the character Fumbi. I remember the day that I actually decided to ask who the other actors were, because I never asked. It was day one on set. So when Uche was talking to me, and that was also my first time, maybe I guess technically my second, because the first time I met Uche was audition. Yes. So it was also my first time. So I was like, oh, by the way, who's playing these characters? And she mentioned Vanita, who I'd heard of, and then she mentioned you, and I didn't know who you were, what you were like. So I remember the first time I saw you, I was like, why is this girl so fine? What is really the issue? Why is everybody so fine? In fact, actually, I think that was really, I just was looking at you and Vanita. I said, oh, Jehovah. Wow. It's going to be great. They're going to see you on the screen. Don't worry. You are black. So you will now be the contrast in the middle of the two, both of them. But I did love how you played Fumbi. Now, Fumbi was a character that was very charming, but she was also very complicated. And I feel like you brought that to life really, really well. And the question I have for you is, what does playing a character that is heartbreakingly human and so flawed, what does that teach you about the value of vulnerability and how you tell stories and your storytelling craft?
Um, so, as a human,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the way that the world is now, there's so much ego, right? And I, as a person, have found out that I found the most freedom or liberation in moments where I was vulnerable, where I took a chance to be vulnerable, either with a friend or in situations where ideally, I would be terrified or I wouldn't, necessarily put myself out there. And I found the most bliss in those moments. And so in playing a character like Fumbi was stressful. She was stressful. She was stressful. I think I still have PTSD from, playing the character and all of that. But it gives you the opportunity to see into the lives of characters like that. People who you might not necessarily, you may or may not know somebody like that. But the opportunity to read this character, bring her to life, put her on screen, and open the door to the minds of other people for them to, or rather, open the door to her life so that other people can peek in and see that there are people who deal with these types of situations. And there's so many things. There's a plethora of experiences that come together to make people, to shape what their actions, why they do the things they do, why they are wired the way that they are wired. If you look at Fumbi's backstory, if you look at, you would understand why she made the choices that she made. It frustrated me. There were times where I wished I could pull my shoe and knock her on the backside of the head, like,
We used to
girl,
talk about this actually.
and all of that. But still, she became a character that you could almost reach out and touch and say, girl, I see you, I see your pain. Have sense, but I get you. I finally understand why you would be this way. So and that's the beauty of acting. You get to touch the lives of people and characters that you may never interface with, but you get to be them. Spend a couple of days, hours, months, in their shoes, experiencing their pain, and then you get to share them with the world, and everybody else gets that opportunity as well. I think that's one of the beauty of acting.
And I feel that as an actor, you do actually pay a lot of attention to the script. You pay a lot of attention to the writer's vision, to the director's vision. I'm curious if there is a thing that you do, or a place you go to, or maybe like the thing that you do every single time before stepping onto set that sort of ensures that you are delivering the character in a way that holds long-term artistic vision, that kind of makes sure that character sits with you long-term. Is there anything in particular that you sort of go to?
Well, there's a couple of things, but I think the first thing for me is the fact that I'm an empath makes it, and in real life as a person, I try to connect with people and put myself in their shoes and see through their lenses. So it's the first thing you're trying to do, and that's the role of, great storytelling. So if it's a good enough script, the writer has already done, a good percentage of the work for you. Why? Because you've already, immersed yourself, right? And then you begin to ask questions. Why does this person do what they do? Because sometimes they give you a character Bible, right?
Yes.
So it helps you to inform. Take, for instance, a character like Fumbi. When you find out that this girl as a teenager was prostituted by her mother because her mother was a prostitute. So first things first, in her backstory is heavy stuff. So you get to understand why this is the only life that she knows. It's in her DNA, and all. So when you ask those questions, sometimes you find characters, or you're given characters that are similar to somebody that you know. You can see a little bit of this person in this character. You could see a little bit of yourself in some, moments or in certain parts of the character. That helps me to further, it's like when you're looking through a lens and you're, what's the thing?
You're like zooming in, you're adjusting, you're focusing.
Your focus, you're pulling your focus, and it becomes sharper.
Yeah.
And then sometimes psychologically, I try to sit with the character like we're talking now. Like, who are you? Why do you respond the way that you respond? How did this encounter, this scene, how did it make you feel? You lost a parent in this circumstance. What is that doing to you in this moment? Where were you coming from when you heard the news? What were you already feeling when this situation happened? In that accident scene, where were you coming from? Had you just had a heartbreak? Those types of dialogue with the character, sitting with them, it makes the character become real to you. And then in no time you find that you're able to merge yourself with the character. And there's no separation, there's no character, there's no Enado, there's just the character rather.
I love that. It's a very thoughtful approach. And speaking of merging, so as actors, there's the work that we do, but we have our personal lives as well. And quite often in the industry, relationship dynamics can be tricky. Yes, we're going to talk about your marriage. We're together. So you and Tola do have, I think, such a beautiful love story. And I'm so curious how you were able to navigate when that started for both of you, and it's grown into not just a marriage, but it's a partnership, right? Looking at the production end of it as well. What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned about protecting the value around the relationship? And what was that like for you deciding that this was something that you wanted to go into, considering again the whole entertainment industry that we're inside? I know that you had concerns. I know that we spoke personally, but I'm so curious, like for you.
Okay, taking it back. First thing, I always was someone who thought that I would never be with somebody who's in the same line of work. But they would say, like they say, never say never. So you meet this person and you connect and all of that. And before you're meeting the person, of course, I've spent years, fine-tuning what you're looking for in a partner, the kind of life that you want, figuring out who you are as a person, right? And because I had done all of that work, by the time you're meeting this person and or you're getting to this point, there is it like a psychological checklist? And so when you place things in order of priority, right, I realized that, okay, my relationship is important to me, my career is important to me. In what order is do you get? And based on that, and even from moment to moment, what is important to me? What is more important? So as a person, because I already knew where my values were. Do you get? I already had a picture in my head of the kind of future, the kind of life that I wanted. I knew that I wanted a home. I wanted, like family life and all. Work is important. My fulfillment is important. So I also wanted to be with a person who understands that and supports me, do you get, in that area. So, finding someone that, okay, it's iron sharpening iron. There are advantages to being with this person who's in the same, line of work as me. So sometimes I'm on set till late, but he absolutely gets it. There's so much value that comes with being with someone in the same line of work as you, because there's so many things you can talk about. If I was with someone who was in banking, there's only so much, I get it, like, yeah.
What do you say you're doing at 3 a.m. Where?
And they would be talking about their work, and I would only get so much. But now, we're talking about, post-production, we're talking about, even in analyzing other movies or other, creatively we feed each other and all of that. So it's easy to place my priorities.
Okay.
It's easy to, because he can feed, do you get my priorities, because he understands what I do. I understand what he does, and so if he has a vision concerning anything, I can add to the vision. I can make suggestions. I can, there's value added because there's so much that we share in common. So it becomes what's the word that I'm looking for?
It's like symbiotic.
It's symbiotic. Yeah. It's, so.
It's a partnership, for real.
It is. Yes. It's a partnership, and it's a partnership that works.
Yeah.
He understands me. I understand him. We treat each other with value, with respect, we respect each other's careers. So we've created a balance.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
No, I do see it. I like it. So I was just curious, like, what? I've never asked you this stuff on the record. How are you feeling the interview so far?
I mean, it's the interview is interview.
The interview. Okay, let's go back career-wise. Let's look at Flossom. Flossom, Like Unmarried, is another ensemble, an ensemble sort of TV show, right? Yes. And I feel like it succeeded because of the chemistry between the strong female leads, again, and that's as an actress and someone with a producer's mind, as far as I'm concerned. What do you do to ensure that chemistry is there, that ensemble cast feels equally valued and respected? Because honestly, it is because of how we interacted on Unmarried that I think the show was also successful. And I feel like that's a very similar thing with Flossom. So what would you say is sort of your experience with that and the key ingredients to making sure that it works when you have an ensemble cast like that relationship?
Well, thankfully, everybody on the production is sensible. Sensibility is a very important part.
And the sub who you want to sub. Say direct, don't go through the corners. She said some people are foolish. I can say it if she won't say it.
I said, and I can only be quoted, talking about people who are sensible.
Okay.
And, everybody's mature. So first things first, before the work even starts, character is meeting to character. Everybody is professional, but also fun, and they also know their job because these women are experienced, and all of that. So it already makes it easy.
Okay.
The production team also helps. And then when it comes to the relationship, thankfully, myself and some of the actors already had relationships beforehand, so it helps. And then on the production, we're also on the show, also talking about, it's also addressing things that are relatable to women, to us girls. Do you get? So it's very easy for us to connect with our individual characters, with the character across the room, with the story the scene is trying to tell. And it makes it easy. It's simple, it's really straight to the point, and it's fun. So that way.
And the character too had sense. It was not like Fumbi. Because Fumbi really suffered Enado that year. I'm sorry. Let me move on. But because you actually did also say that you were happy to be part of a contemporary a show that depicts the contemporary African woman as strong, independent, and fierce, right?
Yes.
So what would you say is the most important, maybe cultural currency that these kinds of narratives contribute to the next generation of Nigerian women? And what sort of further investment do you think is needed to continue telling stories like this?
Okay. So I love this question.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved about Flossom is I think that the goal with Flossom was to tell the story of women, the way women, like from our POV, the way we want to be seen. In the past, stories were told in a certain way, and women had to be in certain types of boxes. There was a limitation to the boxes, how far we could go. And tell you what, you shouldn't dictate to me who the type of woman that I am. So the characters are so diverse and so different in their expression, in their personalities, in what they are allowed to do. There are characters who they're not taking, they're unapologetic. They're not taking permission from you to be bold, to be loud, to be defiant. This is my story. I get to tell it the way I want, how I see it. And you don't get to dictate to that for me. And it's very important because the next generation of women need to understand that they are powerful. They can be anything that they want to be. You can have it all. There are struggles in life. But those struggles are surmountable. And the beauty of your partnerships and your alliances, the types of friends that you choose, the choices that you make in life will be influenced, by the people you surround yourself with. And I keep on making this quote that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with others. And so the bond between the women and the friendships and their individual struggles, it tells the next generation of girls that, look, you are seen, you are heard, you are represented in the types of struggles that we experience, but we can deal with them and find your tribe. If you have the right tribe, your chances of, dealing with the life's issues and surmounting them so much higher and so much better.
Yeah. Do you feel like that echoes in your personal life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say, for sure.
Yes.
I think a really cool thing of just even spending time around you is you're one of my friends who you gather community. And you don't just gather community, you do it in a thoughtful way, and you pour so much into people around you. I feel like that's something that I take from you. And I don't know if I ever told you that, but I feel like you put so much good into people and into the world, and it is an inspiring thing to see and to experience. So, which is why when Enado calls me for anything, I'm just like, I'm coming, don't worry, like I'll be there. Like anything that has to do with you, I'm very mindful of, because I feel like the energy that people give out, from me, like I match energy. Not negative energy, but I definitely match positive energy. Negative energy, I don't really have time for it. Like I'll just cut you. If I've blocked you in my life, I'm so sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Permit me to hijack your podcast at this point, but you are also like that. And
do you think so?
Yes, in many ways. So I also remember the first day that we met, and we had this conversation. I'm not quite sure what exactly it was that we spoke about, but first things first, my first thought, meeting this lady and her locks at the time is, who's this exotic fish? This beautiful brown-skinned woman. And over time, working with you, one of the things that struck me was your poise, your dedication. Folu inspire you against your will, because Folu is very, you're very put together, you're very poised, but you're also very determined. You know what you want, you go for it. You are such an inspiring person that, you're one of those friends that you hang around for long enough, you sit up and you have sense and you become responsible against your will. Whether you want to
podcast. I'm so sorry.
Whether you want to, because I remember when I think it was season 1.
Yeah.
Folu became the person to be on set. What I mean is promptness. I'm like, what is it? What is it? Are they pursuing from your house? Why are you here so early? So if I got on set and Folu had not yet arrived, it was an achievement. That's an aside. The other things that I wanted to say about this beautiful human being here is that you are also very intentional. I don't know how you find the energy, to wear all the hats that you put on, but you still, from a personal point of view, make up time for me. When I call you, you show up. You've shown up in so many ways for me. I love the conversations that we have. So Folu is also very deep, very spiritual. So you know how you have relationships with people and you have them in different compartments. You have the friends that you speak to for finance, and you have the friends that you talk to for spiritual stuff, and the one you talk to about boys, and the one you talk to about, money or career and all of that. I find that there's so many different compartments in my life that you feel. There are conversations that I can have with you that are deeply enriching, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, which is why, and she's goofy like me too. It's just I don't like taking pictures with her because we'll go together, but she'll look nicer in the pictures because.
No, it's okay. And do you know what? This podcast I've said is they're going to use my face for meme. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to end up a meme, but that's okay. I can accept it.
I hope that in the meme, your face is, because you always look too poised. By the time the picture is taken,
I don't think so. And you're talking about yourself, but it's okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Excuse me. Have you seen the posters of Unmarried? All the different seasons. She's always like,
I'm very serious. Let them snap me up, please. I need money. I'm selling member kits. Look nice. Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you. I really appreciate that. No, but it's why I genuinely do I love you and I love spending time with you. So on the record, Enado is my G. You know what I mean?
I like you too, girl.
Okay. Let's now do a quick reflection on growth and personal worth. So once you had shared that something that excites you about acting is the opportunity to escape into another world.
Yes.
Yeah. And for a busy professional like yourself, I wonder how important is that creative escapism for your personal sanity and balance? And what is the most valuable thing that you think you bring back from that other world that you escape into?
The escape.
The escape back.
So take for instance, there are things that we do not do in real life because we have learned sense, we've grown up, and sometimes there is delight to be had. So take for instance in certain types of foolishness.
Yeah.
So when you're grown up, there's a way that you could play or be playful, and it's like, what's this P? You get it together.
Yeah.
But if I played a character where I'm goofy and silly, it's like given that side of you that you have put in a box, you've given it expression, and then take for instance Fumbi, right? One of my excitements going for that character was the fact that she was something just so different from my person, right? She did traumatize me. I would say it's over again. But there's just take for instance, if you looked at the scenes where the girls are together, there's nonsense that Fumbi will say, absolute nonsense that Enado will never say that. Do you get? Enado will never be in that situation. And do you understand? And it's nice to be able to do it. It's not a real thing, but it's real in the moment when you do some of those things. So take for instance character Dolapo. She's a PR expert, she's a fixer and all of that. I'm not a fixer. I used to fix problems sometimes, but they don't pay me. They don't pay me for it. So the imaginary money that Dolapo is collecting, it feels nice.
Do you know what? Financial satisfaction one way or another. That was FD.
Do you understand?
It's true.
How powerful the character is. And how influential the character is. One other thing is, so take for instance a character like that, there are people who have reached out and talked about how character that you've played impacted their life. Or something the character said gave expression to something they were experiencing. I remember one time I went for a party and I met this lady and she was talking about your character. She talked about
Kamsi.
How Kamsi was, the things that Kamsi was going through in marriage was it was like, this is me. Oh my God, who stole my story and put it out there and all of that. When you get moments like that, where you've told someone's story, you've given life to something they thought was just in their head. Oh my God, someone finally said it. Do you understand? Or when younger girls reach out to me, very recently, I think last week, someone spoke about how that they were going into PR, they wanted to study public relations or whatever, because of, and all of that. I've gotten, quite a few like that. Or there was a character I played in a movie called Jabba. I cannot tell you how many people have reached out to say, hey, that story was my wife, was me and my wife, was my sister. I think that actually is the greatest takeaway from, being able to play these characters, putting people's lives out there or inspiring people. I think it's one of the greatest blessings of acting.
I think so. Yeah, that's really well put. Okay. And now sort of looking forward, I know that life has evolved a lot for you this year. This 2025 has been so much for so many people. To be honest with you, it's like 5 years in one. It's a lot. This year you have got married.
Yes.
This year you have brought a beautiful bundle of joy into the world.
Yes.
What has it felt like this year for you? It's been a deeply personal year, and I know deeply fulfilling in so many ways. How do you, in your own words, I want to hear how you feel about this year and going into the future now as mother added to your titles.
Is this not the thing?
I was yes, this is the applause. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
What does that feel like, and what does the future look like for you? Knowing that it's uncharted territory, because you've also never been here before, you've never been a mother before, you've never been a mother to this child before, you've never been a wife at this time and this age. What are the hopes you have? What are the dreams you have? What are the ambitions that you have stepping into 2026, which is going to be rolling around any moment now?
Okay. I will start with what the year has meant for me.
Yeah, what 2025.
2025. Yeah. It's been a year of a lot of blessings. There were times where it felt like, somebody, as 2025 was rolling in, somebody just wrote Enado. This year is for Enado, and I'm so grateful to God. This year has also been the year where I would say that God took my matter and says, I am going to prove to you that everything that I spoke to you about, I will fulfill, that I am God. And there are things that, let me put it like this. Sometimes let go and let God. This was the year where I didn't have a choice in the letting go part. But God showed me, child, didn't I tell you? That's what this year was for me. It was the year for God to show me show me that He loves me and that I am taken care of and that He is on my matter and that I'll be okay, because He told me years ago, He's told me for years that you'll be okay, you'll be fine. Don't, child, these things you're worrying about, I got you. Yeah. I got you, and He did got me.
Yeah, He got you.
He gutted me.
Listen,
he so it's a year that I'm very grateful for. It's a year that I will never forget. I became a mother. It's also been a year of new, strange, and strong experiences that are changing me. Changing me in ways that I'm even yet to completely figure out. But I'm just going with the flow. I'm honoring my experiences, so if I'm in pain in this moment, I'm in pain. I'm flowing, or I'm looking for the words. I'm enjoying the flow of my experiences and the wonder of not knowing what the next thing is, how each moment is meant to turn out. I'm curious, and I'm open, right? And in the years to come, so permit me to say this quickly.
Yeah.
Back in the day, our mothers were housewives, right? The world has changed predominantly, not all mothers,
but yes.
not all mothers.
Yeah.
The world is changing, and women are taking up career, and the face of what is expected of women is changing. I want to be the best version of myself, however that version manifests. If it is, I want to go from moment to moment. If in this moment, life is calling to me to be the greatest mom, I want to bask in that. If life calls to me in the next moment and says, chart up your career, I want to bask in that. But I just want to, it's the joy of each moment, and the faith in at the end of all of this, I'm going to have a fulfilled life. So I'm not putting a label to say by March 2016 this must have happened. The river, the stream doesn't say this, it just goes with its own flow. I do have objectives, I do have goals. And when I say go with the flow, it's not. I'm not resigning myself and saying, just the river of life, just take me where that will, carry me. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I want to enjoy every moment. I want to bask in wherever I am, at any given time. My career, my child, being a wife. I want to wear all the many hats, but I want to wear them without struggling, without forcing anything, it's just because that's what gracefully and ease, and so I'll take it.
I love that.
One day.
And so shall it be.
Amen.
Enado, thank you so much for making time to come chat with me.
Girl,
I know I literally dragged you out here.
If when you put it like that, it sounds like I'm here against my will. This one time, this one time, it's not against my will.
Yes.
I'm actually really delighted to be here. I absolutely wanted to make it, and I'm happy I came here.
Yay.
See your fine face.
Actually, it's funny. Every time I look into the camera, I'm like, wow.
You do look nice.
You are seeing
my exotic friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Do you have anything you wanted to ask me? Do you have any questions for me?
You did tell me.
You don't need to. No. Just in case there's something you're curious on your mind.
So I wanted to ask, what pushes Folu to be all the things that she is, and is trying to be? Because you are very what's the word? You're a go-getter, And the thing is that you go get plenty things at the same time. What drives you?
Thanks so much for this question. I'll do my best to answer it. Honestly, when you were asking the question, I think the first thing that came to my spirit was like dreams and visions. I remember maybe it was primary 2, primary 3 in Corona. And one of those days they ask you what you want to be when you grow up. And while I don't remember precisely what I committed to writing down in class, I remember going home to talk to my parents about it. And there were so many things I wanted to do. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a gymnast. I'm being so honest, and I remember like sighing. It's a core memory for me. I remember sighing and just being like, it's such a pity we only have one life, Dad. Like I want to do all these things. But I'm sure my parents were like, this child is touched in the head. There's clearly something wrong with this one. But I believe that I have been given a lot of dreams and visions, and I chase dreams. I don't know how best else to say it. This is probably the most honest way I can express it. I know that I have talents in certain areas, and some of the dreams that I've been given and the passions that I've been overtaken. And when I say dreams, I mean like sometimes I think of doing things, and even when I try to let it go, I can't really let it go. So I'm like, okay, then how do I do this thing that I thought of doing? And in every form of dreaming, the expression of the dreaming quite often is not just creative, but it is in service. So again, the dream of a lawyer sort of came about around 1991. Abacha regime, just after he died, election violence. My dad used to read the newspaper all the time, my mom as well. I remember when they even went out to vote, and I remember all the injustices. I remember the execution of the Ogoni tribesmen in Kensarawiwa. I remember asking my dad, like, so why has this happened? And he's trying to explain this to this young girl. And I was like, okay, well, who steps in when the government isn't doing the right thing? And he thought about it. He was like, well, maybe lawyers, maybe this. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I can try and help, because I've always wanted to help. I've always wanted to help fix things. And then even as I got older, the idea of helping as a lawyer morphed to like, okay, I can help businesses, and I can help communities, and I can help people. Person A and person B want to do business, I can help that. The dream of being in media, I think manifested when you start looking at the way people look at Nigerians when you grow up between Nigeria and other parts of the world. And people ask you, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm Nigerian. And the first thing that happens is that people clutch their handbags and things to their chest. And they look at you and say, shoot in case you touch something. You know, and when they realize that you're not a danger, they calm down, and you hear nonsense like, oh my God, you're so different for Nigeria. I'm like, how many do you know? And then I was like, okay, well, so somebody has to start telling you stories of the variations of Nigerians that we are. And even coming back to Nigeria and then being in media or wanting to be in media, and you would hear things like, this is your phone, and nobody's going to hear you. I didn't even realize I had an accent. I know it sounds weird. I genuinely do not feel like I had an accent in my mind. Now, me be girl next door. You can't tell me nothing. But then I then realized that, okay, it's important to show people that there's so many versions of what a Nigerian looks like. So I think, to be honest, that's what motivates me. Is like at every given point in my life, I have a dream or a vision or a really strong feeling for how I can sort of be of service to a larger majority. And I believe that at the end of my life, I want to die empty. I want to express as much as possible. The parable of the 10 talents always comes to me, and I'm like, well, especially when I'm frustrated. And Nigeria do frustrate, but especially when I'm frustrated and I want to stop something, I want to give up something. I'm like, well, this is in you, so you might as well, to the best of your ability. And again, my best, that's why every time people ask me to follow how fast, I say, man, I'm doing my best.
And that's the best, really.
Every day the best is different. Today the best can be 120%. Tomorrow that best can be 2, and you are going to take it.
It is what it is.
That's what I've
from
got.
one moment to the other. The face of the best is it's different.
So that's a good question, so thank you for that question.
I like what you said though about asking yourself, how can I do this? Because a lot of times there are people, and I have experienced this at different points in my life where there's something, there's an idea or something, and you're like, oh, I want to do that. And sometimes there's a tendency to end the conversation at, okay, it looks like upheaval, but when you begin to ask the how, you break it down into little steps, and that's how people go from point 0 to 100 or achieving or becoming XYZ is in asking yourself the question how. And in that process of educating yourself, you receive inspiration, momentum, and you just keep going. And that's how you become this multi-hyphenate of an individual that you are.
I really do be a multi-hyphenate.
Yep. You are a host, you are a TV presenter, you are you're a voiceover artist, you're an actress, you are a producer. Have you directed?
No.
But I know it's
Well,
the kind of
I
thing
mean,
that,
technically, like, yeah,
you know,
Africa, yeah.
and then in
I was
all
the
of this,
producer
you
and
are
director for
you are also a lawyer.
them.
There's,
Yeah,
oh,
it
girl.
is. You know
Then
what?
she said, Jim,
I do
Jim,
workouts.
Jim, I'm fighting with myself not to call her the thing that is.
Oh, gym rat.
I wish she was Jim Rat. Jim Rat is cute. She's an
Awesome.
oppressor.
Yeah, guess it. Wait.
She oppresses people on social media. Oh, she models as well because she has the most beautiful skin, and she's, girl.
Thank you,
You
girl.
are blessed. You are blessed, and you are a blessing, and we're happy to have you in this generation.
Thank you. So on that note, I'm thankful to my community that helped me to do the things that I do. So all my helpers today, including not just Enado for coming through.
Thank you, ma'am.
But big shout out to the Creative Entertainment Practice Hub by CC Hub, which is where we are recording today. Big shout out to Rixel Studios, who are my co-production partner. Without them, this definitely would not be happening. And big shout out to Canon, who again provide equipment for Rixel, and as that have come on board. Let your community help you. When you're asking God for help, don't just be saying help out with your handouts as if it's money alone that will help you. Let somebody help you with sense today.
Yep.
All right.
And experience and expertise.
That's the one. And that's it for this episode of the podcast. Don't forget to go check out the other episodes of the StormCast. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
It felt really nice answering that question. I didn't see it coming, but it did. It put things in perspective for me.
Good.
I just want to be joyful. I just want to be happy. And you know what happiness is different from day to day, month to month, week to week. And yesterday should not set the target for what makes me happy today. Do you understand? Today, give us this day our daily bread. I want my daily joy. Whatever my daily joy looks like in 2025. Girl, I trust the woman that you're becoming to know what is good for that woman. Why should me, who's more limited in the knowledge that I have now, than the woman you are becoming tomorrow, why should I set the targets for what is your ambition, what is your dream, your desire for tomorrow? It's great. I can, lay up some
foundation for what that
and all of that, but that woman is a better woman than this woman. She'll take care of. She's got her tomorrow.
I love that. A joyful 2026.
Yeah, joyful.
That's cool. Okay.